This is a piece of Somerville agate from Utah. I collected this a few years ago, and I put a heat on it. It's just a very light heat. So it's still strong and tough, but it's going to be more nappable. Using small hammerstones that are really grabby. This is a corner of you can see the grain of this sandstone. Using these small hammerstones to brush and turn instead of slicker hammerstones is a really big advantage. And on small pieces, wielding the antler billet to do thinning is kind of tricky and leads to more breakage. So I like these small hammerstones to work these small balls and flakes. So we've got some curving here. So let's trim around on this and do some thinning. Really helpful to turn your edges early to get the correct planes on them. And see how the soft hammerstone just really trims and turns really nice. Look at cracks. There's this seam here that goes in to there. So that's sort of why I turned this area back. We can take this corner off. This area of the rock is really quality, and it's a little bit coarser in the middle. Let's avoid hitting this because, as you can see, if we take a flake out here, it's just going to increase our droop. So look for small areas to work it down. That flake would have not been possible with an antler billet. It would have caught higher and probably done some damage. So these small rocks that are kind of tough are awesome hammerstone practice. See how we've got that turn? Now we can thin in. I'm seeing this crack here too. This stuff is loaded with seams, and it's usually associated with areas of crystal or high quality areas in the matrix of coarser areas. So it looks like this might be partially healed there and definitely not there. So I might end up losing that part of the tip. And these two, you can see how pretty it is. But see that little inclusion there? There's a crack and it goes through there, so that's done. This one, look at the break and you can see their seam went all the way through there, so that's done. There's just a lot more waste in this stuff because it's just got those hidden cracks. Yeah, so see that we're gonna have to chip this off. So you have a plan, and then you have to change it because you got to deal with those cracks. You can't just pretend like they're going to heal as you nap along the stuff. But the good news is that one's right on the tip. See how that just overstruck and grabbed through? And we chipped it off pretty much. So we've got that wedge-shaped tip. And now we've got two. Here's where you can think about if you're making little arrow points. Is really get those steep planes turned, and then think about an intact flake to make an arrow point. And a lot of these, if you look at the archaeology of areas and you see stuff like this, and since it's so cracky, it's just basically a core. And then you just try to make steep edges to take off usable flakes that are intact. And then if there's anything left with the core, then it can be made into something also, although this is kind of grainy. Oh, my flake. My flake split. I probably should have hit it more along that ridge. I hit it to the left with a nice overstrike, but I missed my contact place, so as it went over here, the flake split. So sometimes that happens. What I wanted was something bigger like this, but intact. So brush down and pinch. There. If I would have done a better job on that there. There's some teeny little bird points. That one's sort of borderline thin. Turning down steep, thick areas. Look at the platform. Bump, bump, where you want to contact. If you want to flint knap and think about what flake you're going to get, especially if you have a punch, put your tool up there before you hit it. And then look and see what's going to happen. You have a platform that goes like this. So you can remedy that by moving those corners down. See how the grit just scrunch that? Now I have a nice, heavy, rolled platform. If you have a big rock and you can afford to not get the flakes you want 2/3 of the time, just because you have enough mass in the stone that you can just chase that width down until you work with a range where you're more predictable, then that's fine. But in these little ones, a few misses in a row and you don't have any more options. See how that's brushing and turning? See how clean that is, turning this edge back down to go this way? People that learn hammerstones, they see me using the big hammerstones, so they want to get big rocks and take big spalls, and then, thin 5-to-1 with the hammerstone on big stuff. Just, everybody's got chunky, little tough rock. If you work on this stuff with the little hammerstones, it'll teach you so much. Turning. That little flake right there. This is too heavy. I would stress that and crack that flake if I took that. So I can either use my abrader to take a flake that way. I can turn this edge down to come across. What I'll do is just find a corner of this hammerstone and come in right above it. Now below it. I didn't get it, so I'm just gonna hit it. I'm just gonna kind of hit it really low and dead. Dropped off my angle, hit down, not hitting in there. Now we've got room to get this one. Trying to keep my length on the bottom there. Do a little tidying here. Turning this edge down with the abrader. We have a nice heavy area to thin there. Having fun doing these little teeny flakes to get set up is really enjoyable. I overstruck that. One thing you'll find with these little flakes is that the hammerstone will chip surfaces a lot cleaner than the antler. Certainly you couldn't get in there and hit heavy areas like that. I allowed that kind of hinge there with the antler. It would put a lot of bending stresses into the stone to relieve that heavy edge. And it's a teeny one. Kind of crushed my platform a little. We've got that what's left of that crack up here. I cut my finger right when I came out here, my first flake. Okay. See those little smoothers? Just down, just feeling until the edge is strong enough. Not over grinding. If you do a whole lot of margin grinding, then you have to fix areas that you don't want to hit. And to trim and fix, it's more wasteful. So these little hammerstone that's grabbing right up here on the top, there's little overstrike. Small, nice flake. Maybe clean up the delta spacer. Little bitty one. Move over. Nice little one. Space and catch another one. Tiny blender. See an area that's sticking up? Just knock it down. Edge mover to come back this way. So we have an area where we're going to go this way here and this way here. And smalls. Now at some point, our back is wedge shaped. Just a little pinch in and bring it to center. Okay. Now we can do it edge moving shear. At this point, the small whitetail tine punch would eat this up. But if you're in the if you're in the zone with your hammerstones, I'm not in the zone right now, by the way. Then you can just have fun with it and keep going. When you really catch those thin edges at the right angle, it sounds like a ricochet. See if my finger's done bleeding. That Band-Aid is going to peel off anyhow. Let's try to get one right there. Okay. We'll have to get one down here for sure, but that might be, I don't want to lose any more width than necessary, so let's probably run the course with easy work with this hammerstone. Let's try one more. Look at how nice this one is. It had a seam in here, but look at how pretty that is. That's quality. Okay, let's try. So we just did a flake. This one is kind of like the other one. Let's do something a little different. This one, I had to feel the hammerstone this narrow piece down, and this is going to be coarse. That's maybe a better one for antler since it's coarser. Okay, how about this one? I'm going to look really closely at cracks. Little one there. There's one on the bottom. That's going to be gone. If you have any sharp areas along the flake, and sometimes there can be cracks that go in, so, and as you hold the piece, you're going to be in the back of your hand, so it's kind of nice to take some of those sharp edges off. And then think too where you want to turn. So this is very flat. And it's very raised. And there, see how this stuff is? Seam. So it's up to me how far I want to chase this thing. We've got some more, so let's just give up on that for now. Okay, this is a little bit coarser, lesser grade. Looks like there's going to be some issues in here, so I'll check that first. Well, this is pretty stuff, though. I think we might have a little bit of a seam. No? That chipped all the way out. So we're in good shape. Let's take this corner down here and then just trim back in. Trim this a little steeper to come back. These little things are fun because most people have material this size. This is really just loosey-goosey. Things start to present themselves in a different way, then I'm going to have to make better edges. When you find a site with this, it's just a preform. It's at the state now where there's no visible cracks. It's good quality. As quick as it is to sort out the rock and whether or not it's gonna be successful or not, then this could be, you only have an investment of 1 minute, and then this is easy to carry around, and then this could be finished later. Just pinch with my finger. Edge turning with the abrader. A lot of times I'll take a flake with a little overstrike, and then I'll clean. Bottom side, top side. And then you have another little platform. You can do things gradually, and it can sort of makes it easier. This flake could go here and then go to this width and roll that edge a little more than I want. So let's trim this edge back here first a little bit. just need a teeny one. Okay, that took care of that, and my platform is still here. And now all this edge thickness is taken off, so I don't have to worry about this flake coming and then really wrapping into this lower edge. Since my point's not gonna be far off that due to the initial piece anyhow. I sort of trimmed and hinged that a little bit. This lighter area is a little more coarse and crystally. Grind this and take just a little cleaner out from the bottom. Put my hammerstone on there and I feel where it's gonna grab. Okay. Let's step on that. Maybe, should we do one more? Oh, this sucker is tough. I don't want to do that one. This one's got a crack right there. Okay, so the point will have to go this way. So practice doing these turning flakes without a bunch of hinges and weird scallops. Just learn to take that angle down. And sometimes you'll have a messed up area, but a lot of times you'll look and there'll be options. Let me do the same thing on this side. So, okay, hopefully we could get a little point out of this. The tip is really thin. So we'll just start on this spot. I was gonna hit that, but look. See how square that is? Put your tool up there and imagine what it's gonna take. That angle is gonna be straight in, so that's just gonna crack. So, you can use just a tiny flake there, the braid. Check placement. Now that's better. It could be a little bit steeper, but that would be fine, especially at this point. I missed to the right. But we've got 1, 2, 3 recovery spots. There. Don't want to hit there because that's in my way. Grind it down. And this, I'll just plane this down. And come back here. Plane it down again. Our orientation is nice. Take a little bit of heaviness off the tip if we thin this down a lot, and then I left this real heavy. I might have a more stressful time taking a little nip and flake on the tip, so take care of that. Going to hunt rock, the gem and mineral people use the rock hammers, and I wish that they'd use a soft steel, because there's a lot of these rocks that somebody was looking at to make a cabochon out of or whatever, but they go through with their rock hammers and they just bruise. A lot of these guys will just hit and bruise anything that looks like it's good, trying to knock off a good area, and it's like they want the color, and a lot of times the rock that I want is just, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it's consistent. And sort of annoying. Like that's annoying. Little crystals, improper holding. I was putting pressures on it like this. I overstruck that. And I cracked it. The gem and mineral gods punished me for with it. He rebuked me. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go